Hello guys, so we are here today with one of the top assassins in Siquijor, both in BP and PvP. So now we will discuss the in-depth guide of the assassin. So let's start. Spy, we would like to ask, why did you choose assassin?
Why Assassin? It's been my character class since I started playing any RPG. On every game I play, it's always Assassin or Ninja class. If there's no Assassin class, I'm not that interested on that game. So that's why Assassin. Always Assassin.
So the players are always asking for assassin guide, build for equip, card, and skill. So can you guide us on the build?
Okay. Uh, there is this thought that if you're going for a DPS character like an assassin, uh, you need to pump up your damage output, right? But for me, this is not the case. I intend to go for the defensive side of the assassin class. For me, kasi you need to stay on the field to dish out more damage. So, for my class or for my build, I always go for high HP or high flee. Any of the two will do. So for the build, there's two builds to discuss, no? PVE and PvP. I guess we should start on PVE first. For PVE, I think it's best to just pump up your movement speed, because the less walking time, the more Zenny and XP you gain on the field. For the equipment, let me check. Let's start with the cloak. I'm using Fell Rock cloak mainly for the movement speed. Then for the cards, I put 3 infinite eclipse card and 1 eclipse card 5-star for the overcome risk. Same concept of the movement speed. You get to use the skill overcome risk. It's an extra blink skill to kill off monster easily and faster. For the necklace, right now I'm using White Wing Brooch for damage, for the 9% increased attack. For the cards, surely you'll be using Pirate Scale card for the Zenny drop rate. 4 of these will do. If you don't have one, you can go for creamy cards for extra movement speed again. For the ring, of course, this is famous for all those farmers out there, the sprint ring. And I put some Infinite Osiris card for additional attack. Okay, for the helmet, if you're hunting for Zenny and Star Crumbs, I suggest you just go to the Mummy area. For me, I think that's still the best farming site for Zenny and Crumbs. So if you're going for Mummy, use Golden Horn Headband again for Zenny drop rate and movement speed. For the armor, you can go for Sprint Armor or Peus Plate again for movement speed. Guys, movement speed is very important in farming because as I said, the faster you move to the monster, the faster you're going to kill it, and that means more experience and Zenny. Okay, for the weapon, I guess you guys already know, I'm using a level plus 50 level Zenny knife. for Zenny drop rate of additional 30%. And for the cards, better use marine cards for item drop rate. Um, that's you can use the Zenny knife if you're hunting for lower level maps. But if you're going up against higher maps like Tor or the West Cave for card ups. If you're hunting for card ups, I suggest you pack up some attack speed on your weapon. So Atroce will do additional damage, will do like Goblin lead cards, because you need to kill the monster fast. My goal for killing high level mobs is to 2 hit them or 1 hit them with double attack. If you can attain that portion of damage, then it will be easier for you to it will be easier for you to collect those card ups. Okay. So if you're hunting for higher level maps like the Veins Field and Tor Volcano, of course mainly for card upgrades, you need to equip your main weapon. So as of now, I'm using a tier 9 Cursed Dagger. Then I equip it with Goblin Leader cards for additional damage. Your goal is to one-shot maybe Baby Desert Wolf or Knocker. Those two monsters are the easiest to kill on this higher map. So there's a big chance that you can one-hit them with your normal attack. If you can do that, then you will be having a good time farming for those level 110 and level 120 card ups.
So for the card upgrades, do you use any other program to help you farm them?
Yes, of course. If I'm going AFK, like overnight, I will be logging on to my PC. And I'm using actually LD Player emulator. It has a feature that is called Operation Recorder. So I'll just record me pushing a button on the gather area. So then set it on 7 seconds. So on every second, it will click on the gather area. So once my character encounters the MVP boss, it will automatically gather the companion. Actually, I'm just using my clone, one clone only, to conserve my hourglass, and to make sure that my companion will not log in, because if I use somebody or I hire somebody random and he log into the game, I will lose my companion and won't be able to gather. So make sure to use a clone when you're AFK farming level card ups.
Okay, great tip. Okay, I think that's for the farm set. How about for the PvP set?
Okay, for the PvP, just like what I explained earlier on the discussion, I focused on survivability rather than damage output. If you can remember the time when those pesky snipers just one-hitting everyone with their focus arrow shot. So I tried to build my assassin with high HP items. For remember, I'm using a stat build of 400 vitality, with 200 dex for hit, and 300 luck. With the increased luck skill, the one that makes your luck uh, 200% up. My goal there was to avoid being one shot of their focus arrow shot. Uh, so that's my build. I focus on the defensive side. For my damage, I just overtrans my course dagger for additional attack.
Oh.
For my equipment, of course, for the weapon, I'm using this is for PvP. No? I'm using a first dagger with 2 goblin leader cards and 2 mummy cards. I'm not using wolf cards mainly because again I'm not focusing on damage. I need to make sure that my kills will really hit the enemy, so I'm using 2 mummy cards. Yes. For the armor, of course, phase plate. This armor is very good for PvP and PvE actually. Because of its movement speed. Then for PvE, it's additional attack. Then STR and bit stats. And it has very high defensive stat of you can have a 34,690 depth stat on trans 9. For the cards, I'm using 4 savage cards. A tip, if you're fighting or if you're up against wizards, you better change I think you can change 2 savage cards into 2 Taobong cards to pump up your HP. You need HP. I promise you that you need HP against those wizards, those pesky wizards. For the helm, right now I'm using ancient gold ornament, but the problem here is that you cannot overtrans this because it is so expensive. You need to collect 2,000 arrow points, right? For just to deal one of this equipment. So right now, I'm using ancient gold ornament with 4 orc hero cards for pumping up my HP stat. For the cloak, I'm using Spellrock's cloak for the movement speed and additional stats of 34 additional default stats. For the cards, I'm using 4 master rings. Then for the necklace, still white wing brooch for additional attack again. And for PvP cards, 4 mastering again. So that's a total of 8 mastering for pumping up your default stats. For the ring, this is a question I usually hear. Will you use Chaos ring or Savas ring? But for me, again, I go for the defensive side. So obviously, I'm using a King's Protection ring. That will give you 36 vitality points and additional 11% HP. So as you can see, my build here mainly focusing on pumping up my HP. Why? Again, just to be able to survive those FN focus arrow shot or strike, whatever. Okay. For the cards, I'm using at first I'm using 4 Infinite Osiris for additional attack. So that's my PVE build before the main update, before they balance the PvP companions.
Okay, so you've changed your build now.
After the patch, I encountered a wall. A wall on the PvP rankings. So I will name 2. person, that's not there, and heck. You can check PvP rankings right now. You can see heck. Sadly, the other one was not able to continue the game, so he quit already. But that's okay. We still have Hector or Heck. Um, because of them, I decided to not mainly change, but add something on my build. So still on the defensive mindset, I decided to change my build and put Agi on my stats. So Agi meaning I will be having additional flee rate and attack speed.
Okay.
So after the patch, my stat build will be like this. 500 Agi with 200 vitality points and 300 on luck or critical rate and critical risk. And also for flee. So with that, I also changed some of my equipment. For the cloak, I changed my Felrox into White Wing Manju. This time, it will give me 18%, 18.24 to be exact, percent of flee and additional 36 agi. For the cards, I'm still using for mastering. Then another equipment that I changed was my White Wing Brooch to a Harpy Feather. Again, for additional 15% or 15.96% flee rate and additional 36 luck. So imagine the flee boost for those equipment. It's exponential. I will explain later my stat build or final stat. For the cards, for mastering. Then for the ring, still I'm using King's Protection ring for additional HP. But this time, I'm not using for Infinite Osiris card. I changed it to 4 Chon cards. Yes. For flea assassins out there, this is your bread and butter. Chon card. So make sure to have a good or high quality Chon cards. Don't focus on the attack speed stat. I suggest you focus on the agi. You can have a dark blue bar agi and 0 attack speed. It's okay. Go for it. Because you just need to pump your agi for extra flee rate. Okay, so that's my equipment build. I'm just warning you guys, if you go for a flea build assassin or full flea assassin build, I'm not guaranteeing that you will be able to dodge every attack. Based on my experience, even with 4k, 4,000 flee rate, 3,500 flee rate, and an enemy or an opponent with just 1,500 hit rate can still hit you and can still kill you with one skill.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm suggesting that if you're going for flea build, make sure to still have some HP so that you can tank at least 1 or 2 skills of your opponent. So that's why for me I'm using a hybrid build with moderate HP and high flee rate.
Okay. Okay, so let's show a clip of the PvP of this build. So, thank you for that build. How about the skill set?
For the skill, right now, I'm using almost all of the passive except for increased luck, because surely that will make or that will reduce your flee rate. So I'm not using that. I'm using level 30 double attack, level 30 left hand training, level 30 right hand training, and deadly poison. Of course, deadly poison for additional uh, poison damage. If you're using deadly poison passive, make sure that your weapon is, is equipped with poison element
Mm.
stone, because it will not take effect if you're using a different element. You need to dish out a poison attack damage, a poison attack skill or normal attack.
Okay.
Um, for the PvP active skills, I'm just using two. Actually, I'm using two skills only. That's Rolling Cutter and Meteor Assault. Um, the clue or the quirk there is being to dish out AoE damage. Why? For me, the first goal for PvP is to wipe out all your opponent's companions. With them out of the picture, your main character can DPS the opponent's main. Even if you don't have any skills left, as long as you wipe your opponent's companions, you can dish out plenty of your normal attack and high attack speed to bring down your opponent. So ever since, that was my strategy on PvP.
Do you still use Drain Layer card in PvP?
The Rainier, no. I've never used Rainier card on PvP for sustain. I rather go for first aid.
First aid.
Because first aid level 30 will give you max 30% of your HP. So technically, you're fighting with 130% of your HP on PvP if you have first aid. What's good about first aid is that it has no delay. Unlike Drain Your Card, you have to cast that spell to regen your HP. For first aid, it's the other way around. Your character, you will cast first aid even if it's just walking towards the opponent. The downside for first aid is your character will randomly cast it on the start of the duel, so that's the downside. But if you're able to take some damage, then or damage first before casting the first aid, that will turn the tide of your duel or PvP match.
Okay. So we have a set of questions here. Usually the questions of other players. So first is we've seen JDR weapon, which is very valuable for assassins. But however, for your on your end, is it worth it? And also, what's the difference of it if you use craftables?
Okay, regarding that, I got a friend who always said that if you're poor, then go for craftables. I'm poor, so I go for Curse Dagger. I can't buy how many JDR to transcend it to 9, tier 9. Imagine the cost of that weapon. And I think the additional 30% melee damage of Curse Dagger is enough to pump your attack even more. For that, I will go for craftables. But if you're super rich, then JDR is still the best weapon.
For the next one, usually we've established that poison knife assassins are key to clear maps. However, is it worth to trans?
For that, I don't know if I'm being biased, no, but I am a fan of Poison Knife. If I will be choosing again for Poison Knife or JDR, honestly I will pick Poison Knife.
Mm.
Why? Because it has attack speed. Then the poison proc, then the poison damage increase. I think at level 50 will have a poison damage of additional 41%. Uh, of course, if you're using poison knife and if you want to overtrans this, you need to um, commit on being one element attacker, and that's
Yes.
poison. Like you need to craft a level 4 poison element stone, equip it on your weapon, and then that's it. You will be having a very high attack with poison element. The downside is if your opponent decided to counter your build and use poison element on their armor, your damage will be reduced.
Mm.
But imagine a 41% poison damage increase plus our passive of another 15 percent poison damage increase. That is very big compared to the 27 attack of JDR. Um, so for me, back to your question, it is okay to overtrans poison dagger. If
Mm.
you're using it as your main weapon, yes, why not? It is a very strong weapon. But if you're just using it to push your map, I suggest just use a gold poison knife. That's enough to you. The goal is just to proc poison
Mm.
to to dish out percentage damage on
On mobs.
MVP boss or the bosses on the field. Um, when I was pushing my map, uh, actually I'm using my P9 Curse Dagger plus 4 Assassin Hired Companions with Poison Knife. Uh, my main character will be tanking the boss, and those four companions, Assassin Poison Knife, will just proc poison damage on the boss. That's my just that's the only strategy I took on pushing the map. Another tip, if you want your assassin companions to survive, you should put 4 skeleton cards on your weapon. Why? Because on every attack you make, you have a chance to stun the boss. So if you stun the boss, that's more proc for your poison knife companion.
Mm. Okay. The last question is, what do you think of the future for the assassins?
Future insights. For now, our only clues are those skills presented on the companion list.
Mm.
Let me check. Fine. You can see it on the compose tab on the synergy tab on the companion list. Then search for the guillotine cross. Okay. Um, Notable skills are the dark illusion. No? It has a physical damage of 428 at level 1. So imagine the multiplier on a level 30 dark illusion. So that's one thing to be happy about for those assassins out there. Another notable skill for the assassin cross is the hallucination walk. Um, it gives you additional movement speed and magical defense to counter or to resist those pesky wizards throwing fireballs at you. And again, another skill to be happy about is the Venom Pressure. For the poison build assassins out there, one to be looking for yeah, Venom Pressure. 135% times 3 damage and a poison rate of 50%. But for those skills that you can count on the companion list, um, I am just hoping that one of these skills will be an area of effect skill for for us to be able to utilize it in PvP, because single target skills in PvP uh, are, are not very effective, because we'll be hitting 5 opponents out there, and there's only 20% chance to hit the main opponent. Once you hit the companions, you can kill it, but still you'll be wasting one of your skill. So I rather use AoE skills on PvP.
Okay, I think that's it for the frequently asked questions. So, thank you for the guide and the in-depth explanation of each of the builds, as well as the skill set and the PvP in PvP. So, anything you want to say to the viewers?
Um, First, of course, just keep playing and just keep enjoying the game. Don't be a toxic player. And shout out to my guild, to our guild, the Unholy. Shout out to Hector and Shitbricks. Also thank you for Morbid. He's the one who is giving me tips also when I decided to go for a build, flea type build. And of course, to all the players of Siquijor, don't be toxic, guys. Just enjoy the game and keep playing. That's all,
Okay.
I guess.
Thanks again,
Thank
Boss
you.
Pai. So, we'll show you the PvP montage of Boss Pai, and hope you enjoy.
Okay.
Ox. So guys, thank you for watching the content. So that's all for this assassin guide. Thank you again, Sir Spy, for the guide. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, as well as join the Labyrinth group for in Facebook. Okay, thanks guys.